Oz was just, we just saw him in the hospital not too long ago. And I was like, Oz, how you feeling? He goes, Zakky, just do me a favor. When they glue me back together, tell them to use crazy glue, not the Elmer's. I need a stronger adhesive. I said, all right, boss, no problem. So that's what we're doing right now. So the glue is setting in right now, and he'll be back up and running in 2020.
Is this still from his old injury? I forgot what I saw on the news, that ATV accident?
Yeah, he messed up his neck. So, he was watching. I said, Oz, I said, listen, man, when you're watching porn and you're smashing the man root, there has to be some responsibility and accountability. Just, come on, man. And I just said, you're older now. It's not like you're 24. I said, Oz, you can't be smashing the mountain root on top of a 14-foot ladder and think nothing's going to happen. You know?
The fact that guy is still alive is fucking amazing.
Well, Oz always says that too, because it's just like, he looks at all his peers and all his friends that he knew back when, when Sabbath was rolling when he was 21 years old. And I mean, I remember my dad saying, when he turned 80, being a World War II vet, D-Day, Omaha Beach, and everything like that, like he goes, man, you only turn 40 twice once. And I remember my dad showing me pictures of all the guys that, with all of them hanging out together back during World War II, like before Normandy and everything like that. He goes, well, this guy died. I remember this guy got his head blown off. This guy got killed with me under a tank. This guy had cancer. This guy, he's still alive. And this guy, like Dad would be pointing out, I remember all the guys that he still kept in touch with. And he just goes, man, looking at the picture, he goes, man, that just seemed like not that long ago. For him, my dad was just like, even though I'm 80, this is back when he turned 80, he was just like, it doesn't feel like, and that generation, think about the World War II generation, they actually saw a car, the first car.
Right.
And then they saw all the way up to a man going on the moon. You know what I mean? And then my dad saw up to, President Obama, right up until President Obama got inaugurated. Like, so
much
he saw,
so quickly.
That's what I'm saying. That generation, that's why they say they've seen more than any other generation. I'm saying how far, everything's come.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
even down to a like down to an iPhone.
But do you think even Ozzy remembers any of it?
Well, no, I know exactly. But I mean, actually he does, because you know what? Whenever he talks about albums, all the albums he's done, he always just says, Zakk, I always remember, whether the record was, what album had more success than the other one. He goes, I always remember each album, whether I had a good time making that record or I was miserable. Like he actually remembered, I'll say, oh, man, I thought this record was really great. And he goes, yeah, I couldn't stand that record just because I was miserable when we were making that record. Or he was just like, I remember, like, like the first two, the Blizzard records or whatever Sabbath records, he was just like, dude, that album was so much fun when we made that one, this was going on and that, he was like, between the drugs, the I remember with Oz, like this, when he made the Black Sabbath, the Sabotage record, his vocal performance on that record is just, I'll put it up against any of his peers or anybody for that matter in the rock genre. And he just goes, I said, Oz, what were you like, taking vocal lessons or with Pavarotti and like eating your Wheaties every day? He goes, no, just lots of drugs, Zakk, lots of drugs. And I go, let's not forget the booze. He goes, oh, never forget that. And I remember one day with Oz, he goes like this. He goes, I remember it was Mom and Barb went out to go see a movie or something like that. That was when we were staying at Ozzy's house and Mom's house. So we were just sitting there, and Oz is like sitting there having a cup of tea. And I'm sitting there, we're just talking. And he goes, Zakk, I don't do drugs anymore. I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke cigarettes. I never thought I'd stop that. And he goes, I don't even drink coffee anymore. And he goes, my schlong doesn't even work. And I go, well, he goes, Zakk. I go, what, Oz? He goes, why am I alive? Why am I alive? And I go, well, Oz, I go, man, a lot of people love you, man. You make people happy, man, with your music and everything like that. You inspire people. And he goes, yeah, I suppose.